Hello there guys, Nintendo Fanatic here, and I'm bringing you my second deck review from the World Championships. In this video I've moved on to 2013 as I only have the one deck from 2012. I would like to traverse backwards and hopefully buy more 2012 decks so I can do some more reviews, but this is actually the second place victor in the senior division. This is Clement Lamberton from France. And his deck was called Agile Sorouche. I apologise if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I did study French at school, but a lot of it I've forgotten, especially with masculine, feminine pronunciation and stuff like that. Interesting fact, he discovered the CCG at the world famous Cannes Festival in France, which I thought was quite interesting. This is actually from the booklet that comes with the deck that kind of tells you a little bit about them. There's a picture of Clement in the top left-hand corner. This was the deck that he used. This is, as I said, this is Agile Sorouche. This was a combination of using Rayquaza and Clement EX to kind of beat down your opponent, moving electric energies around, with the odd Raikou as well. I hope you guys enjoy. So to start with, this is the Pokemon lineup. He ran 3 copies of Rayquaza EX, as it has Celestial Roar and Dragon Burst. This was one of the first EX Dragon-type Pokemon that was around, as well as Latios and Latias, used in the Plasma formats. I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous video, I don't think I did. Each card is actually signed, reprinted with their name on the card, so I think that's why they're collector's cards. The backing, this one's similar to 2012, but obviously they're more like a wood kind of matte background, I guess. Like a vinyl kind of looking thing. So 3 copies of Rayquaza, 170 base hit points, Celestial Roar and Dragon Burst as said. Raikou EX, which had Thunderfang and Volt Beat. This was mainly used as an aggressive beatdown. He would often, just to jump the gun to kind of solve this, his main kind of, I guess, means of moving energy around, he ran 4 copies of Electric and 4 copies of Dynamo. This is to use its Dynamotor effect, which lets you, once per turn before you attack, you can attach Electric type energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. This was great for using for Rayquaza's Dragon Burst, as it requires an electrical energy, or Raikou's Volt Beat, which is a mainly discarding energy to attack. This deck was based around debilitating your opponent. As I said, there's Raikou. 2 copies of Clement EX, which had Rush In and Secret Sword. You are mainly using Rush In to swap in and out. Often used in a lot of championship winning decks. I noticed Keldeo was an option. Or Keldeo, however you wish to pronounce it. That was another one to swap in. And another actual key card, which was Victini, with 70 base hit points with the moves V-Create. If you have 4 or fewer bench Pokemon, this attack does nothing. So it does 100 damage for 2 energy, which is pretty good, but you have to bench. This is why he ran more Pokemon, as you saw, than Zachary Bakari did in the previous deck review, for that exact reason. So, you know, a pretty simple lineup of Pokemon. And now let's move on to the Stadium cards. So his 3 copies of the Stadium card Tropical Beach, which I believe actually was quite the expensive card at the time. It might be a little cheaper now. Tropical Beach, as you can see, has Pikachu and the 3 Pan Pokemon, Panpour, Pansiv and Pansage. Pansear, sorry, not Pansiv. Once during either player's turn, they can draw until he or she has 7 cards in their hand. If they do, their turn ends. This was mainly for draw power. Obviously, because of Victini's V-Create, you kind of needed a fairly heavy bench. Your back row was kind of important. So 3 copies of the Stadium card. I think mainly to block out other people playing Stadium cards. I think that might be why he ran 3. His supporter lineup was actually pretty simple. He ran 3 copies of Colress, which was a new Plasma card that hadn't really been seen before. If you've played X and Y, you'll know that Colress is rumoured to be behind the stones in Geosenge Town. Apologies if you didn't know, I should have said spoiler alert. You shuffle your hand into your deck, then you draw a number of cards equal to the number of benched Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. This was great because, as I said earlier, with Victini's V-Create, you were building up quite the heavy back row, so draw power was aplenty. 4 copies of Juniper, I think I mentioned in Zachary Bakari's deck. You already had the draw power from that. And same with N, only this time he ran 4 copies of N. Again, I think in last time I do have to apologise and correct myself. I do make a lot of mistakes, I stumble a lot. Do apologise for that. Trying to get better. N actually is not about EXs, it's about the amount of prize cards you have, so it doesn't matter if they're EXs or not. Hence why running several copies of certain cards is pretty handy, because if it's in your prize card zone and you don't have it, it could cost you the game. Juniper is again for draw power, as was N. You play N early, you play Chorus when you've benched up, and you keep Juniper for when you need to regularly draw. So I guess consistency is what I'm trying to say. Similar to Zachary Bakari, he did run quite the hefty item lineup. This is actually the first card you're seeing of an ace spec card. You were only allowed to run one per deck. You discard 2 cards from your hand. If you can't discard, you can't play it. You put a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand. Some people preferred Computer Search at the time, some people preferred Dowsing Machine. There are other ace specs, but these were more of the popular of the two. You have an Energy Search, similar to Bakari's deck. You search for an energy, reveal it, put it in your hand, and you shuffle your deck afterwards. A new card you haven't probably seen in this deck reviews, Super Rod. You shuffle 3 of any combination of either Pokemon or basic energy cards from your discard pile. So you could pick 2 energies in a Pokemon, 3 energies, 2 Pokemon and an energy. So you've got quite the variety there to choose from. 4 copies of Floatstone. The Pokemon it's attached to has no retreat cost. This is great because this was an alternative to Switch. If people didn't want to run Switch, then Floatstone was a viable option. 4 copies. I'm knocking them over, apologise for that. 4 copies of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball is a mainstay staple in the current metagame. This is a previously owned artwork. This is an older format. You discard 2 cards. Again, similar to Dowsing Machine, if you don't have 2 cards, you can't play it. To discard, that is. You search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand, and you shuffle your deck afterwards. Then he also ran 4 copies of Level Ball. This similar to Ultra Ball, but lets you search for Pokemon with 90 hit points or less. This is mainly to search out Dynamo or Electric. That way you can bench easier. Victini's V-Create hits heavier. All I'm saying is there's a reason why this deck came second in the senior division. It had to be good for the meta at the time. And then 3 copies of Pokemon Catcher, which were also featured in Bakari's deck. So that's going to round off the item cards. And to keep things short and sweet, finally, to the point, 12 energies, 8 electric energy and 4 fire energy. A simple lineup, no special energies needed. You're mainly just piling up the energies for V-Create or for Rayquaza or Raiko's attack. Alright guys, that was Clement Lamberton's 2nd place division Rayquaza EX deck from 2013, held in Vancouver, Canada, between the dates of August 9th and August 11th. I hope you enjoyed.